This is Seventh Generation Warfare, and I'm your current host, John Nelson. In this episode, we'll be looking at a lesson uh, takeaway from the transgender movement and how we can learn from what's going on and apply it to Seventh Generation Warfare. I'm not very much interested in political discussion on the subject. I will say that if that mutilating one's genitals or becoming sterile through hormone or hormone blockers, anything like that, is antithetical to seventh generation warfare, as seventh generation warfare is about protecting the will of our children. If you make it so you can't have any children, then you've lost before you even started. So understand that that is the perspective I am coming at all this, but let's continue. I think one of the main issues in this social topic is that some people see a distinction between sex and gender and some people do not. People who are opposed to the idea of transgenderism would say that there is no difference between sex and gender, that the two concepts are synonymous. And people who are in favor of transgenderism would say that there is a concept of gender which is distinguished from sex. Sex is biological. It is what reproductive parts you are equipped with, and the gender is pretty much everything else. The behaviors, the how you present yourself, what you wear, what your interests should be, all those things. It's kind of a nature versus nurture divide, that the gender is supposed to be the nurture aspect and the sex is supposed to be the nature aspect. Certainly there is some degree to which expectations are put on people based on their sex. And so there is some degree of gender in the way that the transgenders supporters talk about it. But that's not really what I want to discuss. I just wanted to point out that there is a difference of perspective, and now we're going to look at why there's a difference of perspective, or why there could be a difference of perspective. And I'm not trying to oversimplify the whole issue or whole discussion about transgenderism. There could be a lot of various explanations. I'm just looking at one small component, and this won't even apply to all the people. It is just a trend, and I think that there is a pattern here that is worth examining and is also a valuable lesson. So, those who do not see a difference between sex and gender, why don't they see a difference between sex and gender? And those who do, why do they? There's some element of truth in both perspectives. I think that the distinction comes in that some people were pressured to conform or felt pressured to conform, and some people were not, or were not pressured to a degree that it ultimately negatively impacted them emotionally. So those who do not see a difference between sex and gender, they probably did not really feel like they were being pushed, that their identity was trying to be molded by those around them, probably mostly their parents, but also friends and society as a whole. They just were comfortable with who they were from the start, never really thought too much about it, and now they're being presented with this concept in society that they're, in a lot of instances, they're being told they're wrong, that the things that they're interested in are not their own interests, but their interests because society told them, based on their gender, that they should be interested in it. And that's a personal attack, and they're going to push back against that. But that's not really even what I want to focus on. That's the people who are not in support of the transgender movement. On the other hand, the people who do see a strong distinction between gender and sex and think that it's a worthwhile endeavor to try and change one's gender, well, those people were probably experienced some sort of trauma or manipulation or pressure to conform to this concept of gender that they're so focused on. And that's the issue I want to focus on seventh generation warfare, is that be very, very mindful of the pressures you put on your descendants. You better, if you are trying to get them to conform with a norm or an expectation that you want, you better have very good, thought out explanation as to why. Getting somebody to conform to like a concept of what a man should be or what a woman should be just because that's what was taught to you is not going to be good enough. If they feel victimized by your pressure of trying to get them to conform, there will be second and third order effects that you will not be able to control. So be mindful and have good reason if you are pressuring or trying to get your kids to conform. Otherwise, they might do something radical, like chop off their genitals. So I hope I've made that point clear. Please let me know in the comments if I didn't, and I can try to go at it again. Like I said, I'm not looking to debate the topic. I just want to point out that if people are feeling attacked, there's a reason they're feeling attacked. There's some truth in that perspective, and hopefully we can learn from that and not either reiterate that, not live that same mistake again for our children, or make a mistake that rhymes with that one. And anytime you're pressuring somebody to conform, there is going to be some sort of pushback. It might not be aggressive pushback or even an obvious pushback, but in the psyche, they'll probably be finding a way to get back at you. And I think we're seeing that play out. So please like, subscribe, and share, and please let me know what you think. Thank you.